So that's the sun in my eye. So as you see in the picture behind me, you got the sun in your eye. Then you have the moon in your eye. Then at night the stars is above your head. So this is the reason why that picture is like that. It's not an exaggerated um, depiction. This is just what it is. The sun is right there. It's in my eyes, and I could, you know. But I wanted to share something, and I wanted to share something with y'all. It's about the first Freemasons and how Freemasons are or have always shaped society and fashioned our civilization. And this goes back into the first Freemasons, and you will see that it's Roman incorporated ideologies and Freemasons intertwined. This is what we have today. You know, they say that it's a nation for the people, by the people, but that's not the case. It's a nation for Freemasons, by Freemasons, for the people, against the people. They're for the people that are against the people. Their goal is division, divide and conquer, to separate people. This is why you have two factions. You have Republicans and you have Democrats. You could either be a Republican as a people. You could either be Republican or you could either be a Democrat. And each of these two don't see eye to eye with each other. So once you align yourself with Republicans, they're against the Democrats. Once you're a Democrat, you're against the Republican, and so forth and so forth. This is why you have that setup. When you have socialists, communists, whatever, it's all a form of keeping the people controlled by the people. It's for the people against the people. There's people that are associated with the Freemasons, and they won't display their hands. They won't show their hands. But to you, to the unsuspecting masses, you're under the impression that these are, just regular people. No, but they're the people that are against the people. That's meant to sway the people and to either coach them this way or coach them that way. So Trump being in office is by design. These are Freemasons, and it's never going to. Not going to say it never, because God overrides any and everything. So they may have structures and set things up and put things into place, and then carried out certain things, and some things went unaddressed by the churches, and the churches are in that too. The people against the people. So the church, the people that are in the church are the people that are against the people. It's for those people that are against the people. So one thing that I wanted to touch on, before this, was when I was listening to Tupac, White Man's World, and they indicated that this was a nation for white people, by white people, and non-blacks and Native Americans and all other citizens, which would be the burden bearers. This was a speech that Farrakhan had spoke in the Million Man March. And when he had spoke that, at that time, he actually referenced how things were set up by Freemasons. But in the Tupac song, it was captured. This was a nation for white people, by white people. But it's not. That's not it. It's a nation for Freemasons. No matter what color you are, you could be green. As long as you're a Freemason, you sign up to to have dibs, to have a part of the rolling out of agendas, propaganda, the currency, the everything is set up in your favor once you align yourself with being a Freemason. And the people that they use, the what you don't, they are those that are enlightened about what it actually is. These are the people that are amongst the people, which becomes those that are illuminated. The illuminated ones are those that have, oh, okay, but they have to be quiet about what they are doing, because they are, in fact, actually associated with that. They are actual associates of that. So they have to be quiet about their about their association. They know about every wicked or ill thing that is being planned and rolled out. Rolled out is from, when they unleash drugs on the populace, when they unleash diseases like coronavirus and AIDS and stuff. They know about all these things because they have secret information about certain things that the other people don't know. Remember, it's a nation by Freemasons, for Freemasons, for the people, against the people. So there always have to be a people that this thing is unleashed on. So this is what we're getting into right now. So we're going to talk about the first Freemasons. And this is an article. It's from July 15th, 2014. See, the past always comes back and shows the present what it has in store for it. So you always go back to the past, to see what you're going to be talking about in the present. If you're talking about it in the present, then it was something that was already laid out for you in the past, and this determines the future. So the first Freemasons from the East were some of the greatest architects in the world. They not only built many of the Cretan, Greek, and Egyptian structures. See, they are responsible for the Egyptian structures. This is the reason why a lot of things have to go undocumented. Like who built the pyramids, or the pyramids, or where did this stuff? Because it only displays people's hands once you get certain information. These were Freemason, these were Masonic architectures. Before it was given to Rome. So they created Cretan, Greek, and Egyptian structures and monuments of the Eastern and Mediterranean empires. But they would also bring their building skills to the aid of the Romans. In addition to being the first true Freemasons of Rome, they also brought their secret religions and rites that would be incorporated into the Roman Empire from the time of Julius and Augustus Caesar until this very day. This is why many of them were called freemen and were given special tax-free status under many of the Roman emperors, and why the Latin term Phrygian, which means freemen, later morphed into Freemasons. This was the time when, under Julius and Augustus Caesar, that we can say the first Greco-Egyptian or Jewish Freemasons had flourished under the rule of their Roman masters. They were protected under Julius Caesar, who had commissioned these Jewish operative Freemasons to build Roman temples and establish synagogues. They were admitted into the colleges of constructors, and these first Roman Jews had instructed the Romans with their knowledge of the secret mystery religions of the East. Later, during the 7th century forward, they would help the Roman Church build churches all around the world and enjoy freeman status as Freemasons to travel freely when most people or slaves simply were not allowed the same freedoms. Again, a nation by Freemasons, for Freemasons, for the people, against the people. So they have certain special privileges that the other people don't have. It's for those people, against those people. These colleges of architects or magistry was sent by the Caesars in the lands they had conquered in order to build magnificent monuments and temples to impress upon their new subjects the elevated arts and sciences the Romans possessed. Their goal was to leave an impression upon the people that even though they had been subjugated, they will have a better life under Roman rule. So even though they were slaves, just the idea of, being under Roman rule, you have a better, chance of living, And if you want to go back into, the story, if people believe on him, the Romans shall take our land and, take, our kingdom, and, nothing. Nothing. It's expedient that, but that's another story for another story. So they had to leave an impression upon the people that even though they had been subjugated, even though you've been enslaved, they will have a better life under Roman rule. They not only built massive stone structures, but many of them were prolific writers who became celebrated for their great work. One of these Freemasons or master builders was the celebrated architect and author Vitruvius Pollio, born c. 80 through 70 BC, died after c. 15 BC, whose writings were compiled into a multi-volume work entitled De Architectura, known today as the 10 Books of Architecture, which were dedicated to Augustus Caesar and translated into all languages. He often called the father of architecture. Vitruvius depicts the humanitarian doctrines which go hand in hand with the material objects of the fraternity, and which, enveloped in allegories and illustrated by symbols, form the basis of the teachings of these colleges. This is referred by the Wikipedia. Augustus had sponsored Vitruvius, entitling him with what may have been a pension to guarantee financial independence. Hence, Vitruvius Pollio was one of the first true freemen and Freemasons to one of the first Pontifex Maximus of the Sixth Age. Here is a depiction of Vitruvius representing the architecture to Augustus Caesar. This is him here. This is just a depiction. He's showing him this. While this is, I guess this would be Caesar, Augustus Caesar. And there's an interesting note is that in this book, the architecture of Vitruvius says that he dedicated this book to Augustus, whom succeeded to the empire, which descended from his father Julius. Hence, Vitruvius claims that Augustus was the son of Julius Caesar, and with this statement, I agree. Based on my research and gnosis, Augustus was not the nephew of Julius, but his real son, and his mother would be none other than the Egyptian princess known as Cleopatra. Hence, the East meets the West with Augustus, who becomes the only begotten son of both empires and cornerstone of the new age. Vitruvius is the first Freemason who gave rise to the famous Vitruvian Man, who was later drawn by Leonardo da Vinci. The human body inscribed in the circle and the square, the fundamental geometric patterns of the cosmic order. Da Vinci based the drawings on Vitruvius' book of his treatise, The Architecture, where he describes the perfect human proportions in relation with geometry. Here's the depiction. It's the circle, and the square. It's the circle and the square, which is, symbolic to the square and compass. The square and compass. The compass is to encircle. But we're going to get into that a little bit later because, we have a root where that also came from. It's not all Freemason in origin. It also precedes Freemasonry. This is from ancient builders that gave the knowledge to these builders and used those tools and that knowledge to create wonders. This is why you have a lot of people, going around and they're talking about, ancient structures and how did they build these wonders and, all these, then they call it Tartarians, and they say that the Tartarians built, this and Tartarians built that, but these are ancient builders, that built wonders and what they have done to, because, it goes in, it gets deeper than what you can imagine. It gets really deeper than what you can imagine. Like, reincarnation is real, and if reincarnation is not real, then there wouldn't be people waiting for Christ to return. Christ was here, and Christ is coming back, which is a form of reincarnation. So when a person that was here before, when they come back and everything is switched around and it don't look the same as it used to, then you're pulling a wool over a person's eyes that knows, like, hold on, these are my structures. I built these structures, but why are they not there anymore? It's a cover-up of certain buildings. They have this one guy on Facebook, I believe he's on Facebook, maybe TikTok, who knows, and he's showing you structures that's been covered up by other structures, and I believe he's going throughout the Bronx and all these areas and show you ancient buildings, how they was built by stone and then covered up by cement. So these are certain things that you have to acknowledge when you're talking about your ancient past and who is actually who and why things are being covered up. But that's another story for another story. Under the Roman Emperor Tiberius, these Freemasons erected an arch of triumph in honor of his brother Claudius Drusus and another in honor of Augustus. These ancient Freemasons, whose ancestors had come from Crete, were also commissioned to help build Roman cities on that island, such as Pergamus, Nicomedia, Mylasa, Pazulca, Pola, Caesarea, which were built in honor of Augustus. Caesarea, which was built in honor of Augustus. Caesarea was the main capital of Crete under the leadership of Rome, whose bishops had resided there. The governors of the neighboring Judea of Mount Ida had resided on Caesarea. This was also the city where the father of church history and Roman historian of Greek descent, Eusebius, was made bishop. This was also the city where the father of church history, where the church comes from. Out of all of this stuff, the church came about. Out of all of this stuff, the church. History and Roman historian of Greek descent, Eusebius, was made bishop. The historical portions of the constitutions of York by the Grand Lodge in 926, both Pythagoras and Marcus Vitruvius Polio are called patrons of the order. They are called patrons of the order. So if you were to go into our history, and you would see how deeply rooted Freemasonry is in, the building and construction of United States. You will see that, the founding fathers were, Freemasons, or have association with them through offshoots of that fraternal order, and to go into that, I was telling you about how Farrakhan had made the speech of saying that this was to be a nation for white, by the seal in the Constitution reflects the thinking of the founding fathers, that this was to be a nation for white people by white people. No, it's a nation by Freemasons for Freemasons. And if you read it, here we go. And it starts, let's see where we can start it from. We'll start it from here. And the first president of this land, George Washington, who was this is Farrakhan's speech at the Million Man March, and this was called Voices of Democracy, where they're sharing this with you. This is not a democracy, or it's basically a republic, and the republic comes from Rome. Rome is where the republic starts. Let me see if I can give you some information on that before Machiavelli also wrote Rome. Okay. In the late 6th century BCE, the small city-state of Rome overthrew the shackles of monarchy, which was kingship, and created a republican government that, in theory, if not always in practice, represented the wishes of its citizens. So that's where the Republicans start. This is a republic. It overthrew monarchy, where kings ruled, where it was kingship, and today you have Bernie Sanders trying to influence the masses that they're oligarchy. They're creating an oligarchy, which was to have a few people running the government, and they are the higher ups, where everyone below them are like peasants and peasantry. So this is what you have when it comes to Rome, a republic. The Republicans started in Rome. So again, this is all Roman rule. So again. And the first president of this land, George Washington, who was a Grand Master of the Masonic Order, laid the foundation, the cornerstone of this Capitol building where we stand. George was a slave owner. Now, the president spoke today, and he wanted to heal the Great Divide. But I respectfully suggest to the president, you did not dig deep enough at the malady that divides black and white in order to effect a solution to the problem. And so today we have to deal with the root so that perhaps a healing can take place. A healing can take place once you dig deeper to the root and the root cause of everything. This would go back to where it started from. It's Freemasonry. And after you understand that it's about building and erecting and constructing, what part of destroying and being destructive comes into play when it comes into Freemasonry. So this is where you get to the root of it. If it's all about construction and constructing and erecting, then somewhere down the line these principles got taken off course. It's somewhere down the line. Somewhere. Now, this obelisk at the Washington Monument is Egyptian. I'm sounding like Farrakhan. Is Egyptian. And this whole layout is reminiscent of our great historic past. Egypt. And if you look at the original seal of the United States published by the Department of State in 1909, Gaylord Hunt wrote that late in the afternoon, July 4th, 1776, the Continental Congress resolved that Dr. Benjamin Franklin, Mr. John Adams, and Mr. Thomas Jefferson be a committee to prepare a device for a seal of the United States of America. I'm not sure how close that is to Farrakhan. But, one thing that I said about Farrakhan is, he was honored by, the Freemasons. I've gave you some pictures with him being, given, Masonic plaques and things like that, Masonic garb, and amongst a bunch of Freemasons. So he was honored by Freemasons, whether he's associated with them or had any kind of dealing with them. But in the design proposed by the first committee, the face of the seal was a coat of arms measured in 6 quarters. That number is significant. 6 quarters, with emblems representing England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Germany, and Holland, the countries from which the new nation had been peopled. The countries from which the new nations had been peopled. The eye of providence in a radiant triangle in the motif E pluribus unum were also proposed for the face of the seal. Even though the country was populated by so-called Indians and black slaves were brought to build the country, the official seal of the country was never designed to reflect our presence, only that of European immigrants. So again, the country was populated by so-called Indians and black slaves was brought to build the country, so black slaves were in fact descendants of ancient builders that built all the wonders and everything that you see that was built in ancient days. These was ancient builders. Black slaves were brought, not white, Jew. We gathered up all the Jews that was in Egypt at one point in time, and they moved to Germany, and then they was brought to build America. No, they was black was brought, slaves were brought to build. Why was they brought to build? Because they had exceptional skill for building. These are descendants of ancient builders. So all the wonders and structures and monuments and all this stuff has a source and a root of the actual people that build. Why would you get rid of the people that can build any and everything? No, we can subjugate them and then bring them, take their knowledge, take their history, wipe their slate clean, wipe everything clean from them, and steal all their stuff and make them build without them knowing that everything that they built belongs to them. But so even though the country was populated by so-called Indians, they are not Indians. They are not Indians because that's just the name that they was given by the people that write history. And black slaves were brought to build the country. The official seal of the country was never designed to reflect our presence, only that of the European immigrants. maybe that's by design, because if it did reflect who you actually were, maybe you would remember who you were and what role you have played in constructing all the wonders throughout the course of the world, and that would only create some form of rightful ownership to these structures, and these monuments, which actually do belong to you. So, the seal in the Constitution reflects the thinking of our founding fathers that this was to be a nation by white people and for white people. Native Americans, blacks, and all other non-white people were to be the burden bearers for the real citizens of this nation. The real citizens of this nation. The real citizens of the nation, which are the Freemasons and those that are illuminated with the knowledge that the Freemasons are actually hiding. So the seal in the Constitution reflects the thinking of the founding fathers that this was to be a nation by white people and for white people. Native Americans, blacks, and all other non-white people were to be the burden bearers for the real citizens of this nation. Which, that statement needs to be, rewritten to say that this was to be a nation for Freemasons, by Freemasons, for the people, against the people. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter what color, race, what creed, what oath, what you take, whatever it is that you win. You are a Muslim, you're a Catholic, you're a Buddhist, you're a Baptist. Who cares? As long as you're a Freemason, this is the nation for you and by you. And if you are one that, willing to carry out propaganda, then you are a part of the people that's against the people. So these are things that it's stated, it's written, it's written, For the back of the seal, the committee suggested a picture of Pharaoh sitting in an open chariot with a crown on his head and a sword in his hand, passing through the divided waters of the Red Sea in pursuit of the Israelites. And hovering over the sea was to be shown a pillar of fire and a cloud expressive of the divine presence and command. And rays from the pillar of fire were to be shown beaming down on Moses standing on the shore, extending his hand over the sea, causing it to overwhelm Pharaoh. The model for the reverse was rebellion to tyrants and is obedience to God. Let me say it again. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. Now, why did they mention Pharaoh? I heard the president say today, e pluribus unum, out of many, one. But in the past, out of many comes one meant out of many European come one people. The question today is, out of many Asians, the many Arabs, the many Native Americans, the many blacks, the many people of color who populate this country, do you mean for them to be made into the one? If so, if truth has to be spoken to justice, we can't cover things up. Cover them over. Give it a pretty sound to make people feel good. We have to go to the root of the problem. Now, why have you come today? I guess he's talking about why did they come to the Million Man March. They gathered because, I guess it was a lot of trying to build a people up, but you can't build a people up without actually going to the root of the problem. The root of the problem stems in not understanding who you actually are. And by attributing modern names or modern titles to the people, that only further the confusion. Let them know who they actually are. You're children of God. You are descendants of these people. What you have done in the past puts you in this situation. Now, how you get out of that situation is acknowledging what you have done in the past to get out of that. And now you are being, redeemed. What did you do in the past? Maybe you gave stuff to the wrong people, and those people have been using that against you to this very day. Maybe you gave your secrets and your teachings to the wrong people, and they've been using that teaching against you to this day. Maybe them teachings was only designed for you and was only supposed to be used by you to build and to further civilizations, but you allowed yourself to give them to the wrong people. We have KRS-One, and he tells you that the truth is in plain sight. There's a building in somewhere in California where he said that you have a picture of Akhenaten giving the something to the Greeks, and the Greeks giving it to the Romans, and the Romans giving it to you. So it's something that you handed over, that was handed over, and it was handed over. This is the reason why when you understand what the word Hebrew mean, it's a Greek terminology just to mean pass over. It means to hand something, to pass something over. That's what Hebrew means in Greek. It's not when people say they're Hebrew, you have to know what you are before that title was given to you. That is a Greek word. So what were you, or who were you before you were Hebrew, before you were associated with Hebrew? So now you're going back to the root. Where did that word come from? Hebrew. What does it mean? Let's see what it means. Okay. I want to give it to you. It refers to the Semitic language of the ancient Hebrews as well as various later forms of the language. It can also denote a member of or descendant from a group of northern Semitic people, including the Israelites. In the Hebrew language itself, the word for Hebrew is Ivre, which means to cross over or pass through. Cross over or pass through. Okay. Now, the word Hebrew is derived from Old French Hebreus via Latin, from the ancient Greek Hebreos and Aramaic Hebre, all ultimately derived from Biblical Hebrew, one of several names for the Israelites, meaning to pass over, through, take away. The biblical term means to traverse or to pass over. Okay. But it's originally a Greek word. So before there was, a people, there was the word. There was the word, Before there was the people, there was the word. And that's where it actually comes from. But that's just what it is. Some people hate the truth, but some people have to speak the truth, because it's just part of who we are, and further this, here we go, we showed you this, this is Julius Caesar with, This is the Masonic thumb. The Masonic thumb, is here. It's the thumb. You normally see Trump and others sitting or doing this. You normally see Elon Musk doing this. You normally see these signs. You saw me in one of my pictures doing this right here. Let me see if I can find that for you real quick, because this is kind of weird. That's what I mean. It's kind of weird. You know what I mean? What's up, dog? Here, boom. This is right here. What's up, dog? It's in this one. The president election will be. It's right here. But yep. And as you see, it's right here. But this is one of the things. You know what I mean? These are some of the signs. Come on, dog. Get up. That's my coffee cup. Those are the signs and symbols. You got the one. You got the sign. You even got this one. So these are it's deep rooted in our history of who we actually are. And before the election, before the election, before all that stuff, I even went into allow people to know that let's see. Let's go to your channel. I told y'all before, the Trump in court. You know what I mean? But we see deeper. But when you have a understanding of how things are being rolled out, months ago, I told y'all, this is prophetic. You foresee things, and you're telling people the God honest truth. You understand? Farrakhan stated that black people, no one's coming to save you. Some people do. Anybody that come to give you the truth to set you free is somebody that's coming to save you. If you're going to give them the truth, the God honest truth, and this is what can free them, but they choose not to focus or pay no attention, that's on them. But if you know the truth and you don't tell them, that goes back to Ezekiel. You're a watchman, but you don't tell people that the sword is coming. If there's bloodshed and you had the ability to tell them, but you don't, all that bloodshed is on your hands. That's now your fault. But I come to tell, how it is and what it is. And that's just what it is. I told y'all 4 months ago about two things, which this is before, if you want to go and check the date out, this is way before the election. This is at least around about 2-3 weeks before the election. You didn't even know that Elon Musk is going to be a part of the cabinet. Is going to be a part of this cabinet. You don't know that. You don't know that Trump is going to put a businessman in the White House and have him rummaging through people's stuff, upsetting the people, destroying this and breaking that down and destroying. You don't know that. But what you did tell them is that Elon Musk is a fraud and the people behind him are bigger frauds, using stolen knowledge and technology to benefit the few when it was intended to benefit the all. Poetic justice. That's what I told y'all. And then in tandem to that, I told you that Tupac was a fictional character. He signed up to be an actor. Same thing with Kodak Black. If you go back into the beginning of Kodak Black's story, I'm going to be on Nickelodeon. I can act. Could we use him to be an actor? He was pardoned by Trump. When he got in some trouble, Trump pardoned him because he's a part of that. So same thing with Kodak Black. He signed up to be an actor. Not just a rapper. Rapping, you have to be an actor. It's not about talent. It's all about your ability to influence and to persuade and to smooth the crowd. Remember, this is a nation by Freemasons, for Freemasons, by the people, against the people. So Kendrick Lamar is also, they are government agents. It's time for y'all to wake up and realize you are being deceived beyond belief. Same thing with Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is a government agent. He's somebody set up. So now, in tandem to Elon Musk and Trump tearing up the federal government, laying people off, destroying Medicaid, destroying this, destroying that, destroying housing, which is going to make the people in the cities disgruntled and ready to rage and fight, and then they're going to have nobody to turn to, so they're going to end up turning on each other, which is not really having that effect yet. But in the process of all this stuff rolling out, they are bombarding you with Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, which is a government setup. If you don't understand that it's a government setup, let me show you right now how deep it goes, how further back it goes. Obama, your boy Obama, which I said, they all Freemasons, whether they're Republican or Democrat, they're all together in cahoots with each other to make the people believe that they're against each other so that the people could join either this party or that party. While they're against each other, we're just sitting back laughing at them and controlling them. But Obama talks Kendrick, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Now, how far back does this go? 9 years ago, Barack Obama weighs in on Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. And stated that he likes Kendrick Lamar as opposed to Drake. So all of the Obama supporters automatically says, well, I'm with Obama, man. Kendrick Lamar better than Drake. Now, me, to be honest with you, Kendrick Lamar is the worst artist, the worst rapper that I have ever heard in my life. If you're not hating, son, bring back, he said, the type of on you wouldn't understand. The type of schizomorph you wouldn't understand. Big dog business, I cannot hold your hand. Broke, I cannot be your man. That is got you labeled as the great. No, this is propaganda to influence the people, to see how well the people can influence the masses to believe that he's actually one of the great. So they have people on Facebook right now. If you was to go to Facebook, and you would see the multitudes of people with huge celebrity status on Facebook, like they got the blue checks, and they get a bunch of followers, which is, like I told you, for the people against the people, for those people against the people. They have a big following, and they're to instruct you that, Kendrick Lamar is doing this. Oh, Kendrick Lamar is in school. To make you believe that this is, but he's an industry plant. If he wasn't, then why would you be, let me give you this, just an image, just to show you. Boom, boom. Masons. Shaq is a big dog Mason, little dog Mason. Little big dog Mason, little dog Mason. It's Freemasons. Make it the best. The best of the best. We'll make you fame. We'll make you famous. We'll make you famous. To sway the masses. But that's just what it is. I said I'm just what it is. They're Masons. But to the unsuspecting masses, they're being influenced, and there's people online that defends him like, they should be defending Christ. And one thing that I seen was people defend Farrakhan like they should be defending Christ. Oh, you can't talk about Farrakhan. Somebody made a statement about Farrakhan was in a picture with, I guess it was G Herbo, and they thought that was disrespectful, and they was like, no, don't play with no Farrakhan. He's anointed. Don't play with him. Do not play with no Farrakhan. That's how people should be about Christ. If they love Christ the way that they say they do, you should defend Christ that same exact way. I'm the only person that I feel disgruntled by people using that word. When you use it as a curse word, I'm upset about that. When you're somebody like Trump and you're saying that you're a proud Christian, but you out here being the opposite of a proud Christian, not being proud in your Christendom, in your ability to be about Christ, you're proud in that. But you're being the opposite of that. You're being one one that turns away people in need. You're being one that destroys things, that tearing things down and causing people to be upset. And you're that. I'm offended by that. Why am I the only? Why is no mega churches offended by that? Why is no, these Catholic people offended by that? I'm kind of offended by that. I'm offended by that. I am. When you say that you're with Christ and you're not actually with Christ, that offends me. Because that's to your knowledge the Son of God, a child of God. So if there's children of God, and you're playing with that child of God, what do you think you're going to do to me? Or to any other child of God? Why are you not acknowledging the real children of God? Why I don't acknowledge the real children of God? But, these are wicked people. Because if they wasn't wicked, when I went out to, Philadelphia and I saw Freemasons out there. I saw them. They got the symbol on their car. They see me. They acknowledge me. They know who I am. And they were scared to death. They would see me and pull up. Woo. Police would see me and they would turn. They would just turn. Like walking. If you sitting there, I'm stepping to people like, yo, why it's like this out here? I'm talking to one and another one is standing right there next to him. He just spin off. Like they know that, son, either these eyes, God sees through these eyes that I have, or something that you don't want me to see you. You don't want me to see you. Police was scared. The Freemasons was out there. They was scared because they knew that they was a part, or they was instrumental in that situation being like that. They knew that. They knew that. They knew that. The church knew that. The church was out there being instrumental in destroying that community, destroying that whole city. That everything that was out there was due to the church and the Freemasons. I am not sugarcoating nothing. I don't care who that offends. I don't care who it affects. That's just what it is. If you don't like that, then change your ways. That's just what it is. It was mafia with them, the Italian mafia, Albanian mafia, and they was going to try to do something to me. Yes, they was. Yes, they was. And they told me that. Told me that personally. They told me that personally. I employed some of the people out there that was getting high, you know, and I employed them. You know, I paid them to help me clean up the area out there, and you know, they knew who I was. You know, they knew who I was, and they started asking me certain things. You know, they started asking me certain things about even Anunnaki. They was like, you know, Anunnaki. They started asking me certain things. You know, but yeah, they told one of the Albanian mafia told one of the dudes that was with me that they wanted a foreign car. Now I mean, like, yo, get me a foreign car. And they was like, what you want, like a Volkswagen? I overheard this. You know what I mean? He was like, no, ain't this? You know what I mean? He came up to him, was like, yo, because they was out there and they was killing each other. Like I told you, they was being paid to be out there. They told me about one woman that was found in a suitcase, chopped up into pieces. And one of the dudes amongst me had blood all on his pants. Like, it was dried up blood. And then I seen another one. He had the same kind of spots that he had on his pants. Know what I mean? And I said, hold on, what the hell is that? That's blood. How did they get all this blood on them? You know? You understand what I'm saying? But they was out there to wreak havoc, to create lawlessness, and they was identified. This is the sons of perdition. They are people that are lawless. So if you look at that whole city out there, it was nothing but lawlessness out there. So there you have identified who these people actually are. But the Freemasons and the church is that. And they have the people, you know what I mean, that was going out there recording against those people. A nation for Freemasons, by Freemasons, for the people, against the people. So there was people against those people out there that's all on drugs. They signed up for it. You know, they got paid. They were saying maybe like 2,000 and some change a month. Just to be out there homeless and on drugs, and allow people to record them and do all this, that, and the third. But they also gave them free drugs. Free drugs. At a certain point in time, they would call out free samples. And then a multitude of people would run to the samples. And then they would come back, and you would see a group of people just nodding off, and, you know, you would see that. And then the people that they use against those people would come around recording. Those people, like I said, if they really wanted to change things, when I went out there, they seen a good man, know what I mean, cleaning up, doing stuff, know what I mean, they would say, hey, how can we make this good man better? You know what? We want you to create this business, and then, you know, take the drug addicts and, you know, create jobs and stuff for them to be preoccupied. No, that whole purpose ain't to make good men better. It's to make criminals look like good men. That's their whole objective, because they was criminals when they got possession of that knowledge. So they have to keep carrying out this criminal activity, because they are criminals. They are liars, thieves, and murderers. That's what it is. So they don't support good men and make good men better. They take criminals and put them in position of good men and make criminals look better than what they actually are. My cousin and my brothers and all these people, they're criminals. Why would you have people going around gang stalking, watching it and mobbing on you, then taking your information and then rewriting your information and author that information like it's theirs if you wasn't criminals? You know? And we do know. You know, so yeah. But they was actually the culprits. And these are the culprits now. You know, they have all these people that think that that are associated with them. So what we have was, what I was showing you, was the Masonic thumb. You know, the Masonic thumb. Then we have Julius Caesar with the thumb. You also have Julius Caesar pointing, right? You have Julius Caesar pointing. This is the point. This is the point. You know, this is the pointing. This is the pointing. You know, Julius Caesar pointing. You know, it's pointing. This is the point. You know, it's a point. Now you also have your boy Trump pointing. Every picture pointing, 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 pointing. This is Rome. This is Rome, and they're all Freemasons. So Trump is here not by, people voting him in, but by Masonic design. Regardless of who you vote for, that's just to engage the people into politics. That's all. It's just to engage people. But we are planning to do this because who else is going to carry this out other than Trump? Who else is going to come in here and dismantle the federal government, create no jobs, and now that there's no federal government in here, and what's going to happen? Who knows? Who knows what they plan to do? But what they're not going to do is do what they want to do because the children of God is here. So you're not going to do anything that you want to do while the children of God is present. If that was the case, it would have been happened a long time ago. But you're not going to roll out anything that you want to roll out, especially while the Son of God is here. You're not. You're not going to do that. And these are fake Christians. These are fake Christians behind the church is a fake church. They are not really with Christ. They're not. But as you see, boom, these are, Roman Masons, not the original builders. Remember, they came to Rome and gave them the teachings of Rome, gave them their secret rites. And in return, they enslaved the people that was the builders, and then they made them build structures throughout the whole course of the world. So there is the root, right here, right there, the pointing, this, that, and this, that. All this stuff is, all Freemasonry. All Freemasonry. This is how they get rich. Because they have all the resources. They drain all the resources from the children of God. And they have to give those resources back. But the Bible also states, whatever they stole from you, let them keep it. Let them keep it. But if they wanted to do the right thing, they would do the right thing. And they are not my friends. They are not with me. They are against me. They wouldn't have sent a female into my life to try to distract me. Not only try to distract me, but get on drugs, use every drug that they unleashed on the populace, the girl did, and then try to get me on the most addictive drug, try to offer me. I'm not taking that. What's wrong with you? I know better than that. Try to offer me the most addictive Central Intelligence designed drug that was designed to be very, very addictive and very fast and very demanding on the mind. It was designed that way. It was designed to keep people in poverty, impoverished. It was designed that way. If you want to go back into that story, you could. You could. CIA designed all these drugs from heroin to crack. And that's where the history of crack came from. It was unleashed on the populace. Crack is a weapon of the devil, and the devil has a source, which is the wicked men and women that design these things for you to be entrapped and ensnared in. To be entrapped and ensnared. That's what the devil does. So if there's a crack and people are on it, they fell into the traps of the devil. And if there's people that's selling the drugs, they're doing the bidding of the devil. It's no way around. This ain't just about getting money and, I need this. No, it's you using the tools of the devil to trap and to carry out the devil's will, which is destruction, which is chaos, which is death, which is nothing but hell. By you carrying out the will and the works of the devil, which these people are behind. How can we set these people up? Let's destroy the economy and see what's going to happen to the people that's dependent on these things. Oh, we're taking away Medicare. Oh, we're taking away housing. Oh, we're taking away this. It's doing too much on the economy. No, every day these people make trillions of dollars. So there's nothing. They make money on the lottery, which Freemasons are actually behind the lottery. If you don't, let's see. Watch. Watch the. Shaquille O'Neal has partnered with New Jersey Lottery to create a $5 scratch-off game called Jersey Giants Winning. The game features Shaq's face and has a first prize of $200,000. Not only do it features Shaq's face. Can we get an image? Can we get an image? Nah. Here you go. Boom. Yeah. Boom. See? And you see this all online, all up and down, all online. You see that all up online, You see that all up online. You see it. You see it. See it online. So that's their association. To the unbeknown, but even maybe everybody is, but their whole secret is to keep, one person away, This is just to gaslight one person, you know what I mean? So here we have, where we might have, where we say we give them tools to build, but they use those tools to kill. We gave them the tools before. Now, if we gave them the tools before, then what becomes of all the structures that they use those tools to build with? Do we get any kind of, acknowledge of these tools, or do we, do they, you understand? This was a fun. I'll play this game right here, but and they you gotta understand, you know how the lotteries constructed. So what's going to happen is they're not going to stop playing with me. They're still going to like I said, yeah. Yeah, look. He's a government agent. Kendrick Lamar is the agent. Government agent. Then he got the crown of thorns on his head. You know what I mean? Like he's a Christ. But like I said, I was speaking to this one female, and they was trying to glorify. And she was a Christian. She was glorifying him. And I'm like, son, don't you know these people are plants? So when people don't see me on YouTube, and what are you not doing? Everywhere I go, I walk in truth. Don't matter if I'm in a game, if there's children that's acting other than who they're supposed to be, acting like how the world want them to act, I correct them. If there's people acting that way, I correct them. If they, you have to do that as a form of righteousness, because that's what you do. You don't just sit back and let people, do what they do, and then you address them with wisdom. See, some people come on here and try to sound intelligent. I like to sound unintelligent sometimes. Like, you know, because I'm a thinker. I'm a thinking man. I'm a thinking being. So I'm thinking. None of this stuff is pre-recorded and then gave to you from such and such thousands of years, such and in BC and you know. I'm not going to Billy Carson you. I'm not going to Billy Carson you. Because anybody can learn, read stuff, and retain it, and then spit it out and sound intelligent. You know, the thing is, I mean, to sound unintelligent but get your point across. You know, to sound unintelligent. Because narcissistic people like to sound intelligent, but they really don't have intelligence. But yeah, you know, yeah. So they cause division. They know that, you know, people conflict with each other, you know, and you know, they try to give you this humble guy, but he's, you know, just an industry plant. And they use these people to, you know, sway the people. But like I said, look, you know, no, you don't. And you know, the female was saying that, you know, he's anointed by God. Don't you better forewarn. You're forewarned. You've been forewarned. You forewarning me? You forewarning me, son? Listen, I'm not nobody to play with. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not nobody to play with. I don't care nothing about no cult, no fraternal, no nobody. Nobody. That's just what it is. I don't care. Can't nobody touch me. This is not a saying. This is not a saying. Touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. This ain't something that you read and heard from God. This is something that God spoke to you personally. And then you read about it. Yo, these people better not touch you here. You know what you here for, dog. You tell a kid that. Because of this. Because of this. It doesn't shut up. Because of this. Can't be bought. Because of this. It's mine. That's why. God said these people better not touch you here. And people always say, God don't play about me. What is you doing for God? Huh? What? That makes God not play about you. God don't play about me. That's narcissistic. That's narcissistic. What is you doing? What did they steal from God? How are the people disrespecting God? And are you dressing? How are you addressing them? Are you stepping to the people? How? What are you doing that make God not play about you? Had my friend tell me, oh, why don't you make... This is not my friend. You gotta understand. These people are nothing. These people are not like me. They have not been tapped on their shoulder as a child and said, yo, these people here better not play with you. So they don't know the consequences and repercussions of playing with certain people. Yo, you better be scared to say what you're saying. No, you better be scared. You know, hit me up and tell me, why don't you make videos about games? You know. But they've been trying to distract me. You know, that's what, you know, was laid on me. Then you got, you know, they talking about, you know, this performance and her crip walking. This right here is a big thing. And oh yeah, girl, you put on, that's crip walking. Crips have been a destructive force in the black community since the 60s until this present day. They are destructive. They are owned and operated by the devil. So for people to glorify the Serena Williams crip walking, that only indicates that these are not righteous people. These are not God's people. These people are bought and they are sold by the dozens, by the hundreds of thousands. These people are soulless. For you to say that, you know, oh, Serena Williams, she crip walk. Crips, yeah, Snoop, crip. Yeah, y'all with the industry. The industry has nothing to do with God. Everything to do with Freemasonry. Everything to do with Freemasonry and nothing to do with God. So that's one thing that I was trying to tell that woman. Like, yo, the industry. She said, no, this is a heavenly industry. You mean heavenly industry? Oh yeah, okay, all right. So you're acknowledging that your God is the devil. Your God is wicked. That is not my God. My God is a righteous God, a correcting God, a merciful God. Not a God that's going to require that for that. I don't know where y'all get y'all information from, but nah, my God is a righteous God, and it's about justice, not about corruption. Your justice is a form of corruption. Your justice is a form of corruption, and all that corruption has to be brought to justice. That's just how it goes. You know, that's just how that goes. But yeah, you know, but that's just something that I wanted to share with y'all. See, this is the Masonic signs of distress. You know what I mean? All these people are just playing. They're just playing. And don't expect somebody like me to have eyes to see and ears to hear and understand the ways and actions of the wicked. They don't expect that, but they don't know that, son, I can't be bought. That's, the telltale signs of a true prophet. And that's the thing. The woman referred to Balaam and the donkey, like, how they used a donkey and Balaam to as a prophet. No, Balaam sold out. Balaam sold out. So yeah, yeah. Like we can use him to, be no dog. If you're an industry plant, you're planted there by the industry, by man. So we see everybody that's a plant, and because we know certain things, we're a threat to certain things. And how do you stop being a threat? How do they stop being a threat to certain things? Do the right. You wouldn't have to worry about, what you do when the dark come in the light. The light being shown on. You wouldn't have to worry about that if you do the right thing. If you do the right thing. But I'm pretty much sure people know what's up. And it don't bother me, A good man will break himself to fix everyone else and no one will notice. That's deep. That's deep. Because that's the story. That's what Christ was doing. He broke himself to fix everyone else, and no one even noticed that. No one even noticed that. No one noticed. I mean, but they mocked him for breaking himself. Didn't support him. It's just a lot of weird stuff, bro. And it's just what it is. No. It's just what it is. All this stuff, what does the sign, what does, it means, it means your acknowledgement to the agenda means that, you acknowledge your association to an agenda, or to the cause, or to whatever it is they're trying to carry out. So every time they take pictures, they have to depict that in the picture to show that, son, remember, I'm part. Remember, this is that. This is that. So it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what religion you're in. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. It doesn't matter anything. What matters is your obedience to the agenda. To the agenda. That's what matters. Your obedience to the agenda. That's what matters. And like I said, these people have nothing to do with the righteousness of God. They have something to do with, pledging allegiance to an agenda. That's what they have. And if they had like I said, if they had absolute power, then, I would have no choice but to joining them. Unless y'all change. Y'all want me to join? Y'all ready to change our ways? But yeah, that's just, I felt like sharing that because it needed to be shared. Like I told you, it's prophetic. I told you 4 months ago, if you wanted to go into my studio, into YouTube studio, and actually get the actual date. You know what I'm saying? You want to go and get the actual date. I mean, when your post was created. I like that. Honestly, I'm an idealist, so I have an idealist, but I'm an idealist, so I have an idealist. That's cool. You got a list of ideas, right? Okay. It's October 19th, 2024 is when this came out. And the elections was in November sometime. But I told you before the election that Elon Musk is a fraud. And the people behind him are bigger frauds. So whoever's behind Elon Musk, they're frauds. Because he's a fraud. And the people behind him are bigger frauds. So whoever's behind him are bigger frauds. And the thing about that is, I can't, this thing won't, my laptop won't turn on, but in the interim of me creating this video, you always get hit up by somebody that say that they're Elon Musk, like, yo, Elon Musk, yo, I'm Elon Musk, yo, set my request. like I said, we don't hate nobody. We don't hate them. We just want them to do the right thing. If we didn't have faith in people, then we wouldn't even bother. But we have faith. Just even if just a little bit of faith. The same faith that you have in God that you can't see, you have to have in mankind that you can see. So we want these people to do the right thing. We want them to do the right thing. We want Trump to do the right thing. We want Elon to do the right thing. How do you know that you're righteous and you side with the righteous? Well, when I was young, I was a Hulkamaniac. Because he symbolized righteous and justice and fighting for a good cause. This was Hulk Hogan. Yes, man, Hulk Hogan. You was the biggest Hulk Hogan fan. You knew that wrestling before you knew wrestling was fake. Then in staged, you saw Hulk Hogan fight Andre the Giant, and Hulk Hogan had his foot on a rope, but Mean Gene still counted 1, 2, 3. But you seen that. You seen, because you have eyes to see. So you seen that he had his foot on the rope. And they cheated Hulk Hogan. That was the worst day of my life as a child. I cried and I cried and I cried because they robbed a good man of something that he was rightfully entitled to. You know what I mean? But then he came back and still beat Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan beat Andre the Giant. Then, yeah, you got the Hulkamaniacs, and you know what I mean? Because you love righteousness. You love good. So you love people that's fighting for a good cause. Now that Hulk Hogan, years later, went to the NWO and he became evil. I don't want to see no Hulk Hogan. You ain't no fan of people. You are a fan. You are with what's right. If Hulk Hogan is a righteous person and fighting for yes, this is what you see. Know what I mean? He's fighting for a good cause. He's fighting against evil and bad people. I love this, bro. Yes, you know what I mean? But as soon as he turned into NWO, nah, here, Hulk Hogan, I ain't messing with you no more, ever. Because you chose to be wicked. You know what I mean? And we don't rock with the wicked. You're not a fan of him because he's, you know what I mean? You are with him because you see that he's somebody fighting for a good cause. And this is who you want to support. People don't have that same, yeah. But I just wanted to share that, And I told y'all before, in the same time, Tupac was a fictional character. He signed up. Look, he signed up to be an actor. Same thing with Kodak Black. And Kendrick Lamar is an industry plant. This is in October 29th. Fast forward to 2025 and the Super Bowl and stuff. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar is the best rapper alive. These are plants that's, people being used against the people to influence the people and to sway the people. These are prophetic things that you're telling people. Like, yo, son, you watch Elon Musk. Fraud. He's a fraud. And anybody, I don't care who supports who. If you know that they're wicked and you still support them, that means that you're wicked as well. There's a person, Doc, I forget his name, but like I tell you all the time, he's just Republican and look at the Democrats. The Democrats is get millions of people that subscribe to him and get 100. These people get paid just for promoting propaganda. They're criminals, because they're liars. They're liars. And remember, God is not a man that he should lie. Let every man be a liar and God be true. So God is the truth. So those that speak the truth or that come in the truth, these are the telltale signs. If they're with God, then they're with God or not. Are they with God or are they with just promoting an agenda? Church don't mean that you with God. Being in a religion don't mean that you with God. Or you Christian, that don't mean that you with God. Or you Muslim, that don't mean that you with God. What means that you with God is your heart. That's what means if you with God. If your heart is I mean, open to receive, I mean, righteousness, then you with God. If you shut off righteousness to be accepted, then you not with God. If you shut off righteousness for a payout, you not with God. Mm. And if you know that these people wicked and you're still supporting these people, you are not with God. That's the bottom line. Like I told you, I stay with God. I stay with God. Mm. Oh, again. But know this. I want to see if I can see this. Let's see. Nah, I can't see that. Nah. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I don't care about an increase in finance. You know, they always talk about, you know, financial this and finance. I don't care nothing about no finances. I care about an increase in righteousness, brotherhood, sisterhood, being civil and charitable. I care about a decrease in deceptive practices, false reputations of right and false representations of right. That's what I care about, bro. You can't be righteous and be. You can't have a false depiction of righteousness. That is a no-no. That's not righteous. That's just a false depiction of righteous. So, yeah. But I just wanted to share that with the people, man. That needed to hear it. If nobody wants to hear it, I don't care. So, peace.